What I'm about to reveal in this video is probably worth more than any other ecom guru course you can find out there. I'm going to show you exactly, step by step, how we managed in just 60 days to generate more than $466,000 in extra revenue for an e-commerce brand just by simply using strategic email marketing. The brand I'm talking about operates in the CBD market, which basically faced quite difficult challenges here and there because people just do not buy CBD on the internet from an ad. You need to build serious trust with customers who have questions about efficiency, legal stuff, and of course product quality. That's exactly where email marketing comes in and helps you to build trust at low cost but high efficiency. So let's dive into the result. Let's start with the video 466K in 60 days by sending stupid emails for an e-commerce brand. So right there on the slide, you can see the Klaviyo dashboard, total revenue from email marketing, 466,000 in just 60 days, representing 41% of their total revenue, literally through emails. You can see Jan 10 till March 10th. And in the last 30 days, you can just clearly see 640K overall and 275K in email, which is basically 43%. So we're actually increasing month by month. And we have a very decent split with 60-40 because we just turned the flows live, I think 30 days ago. So that's basically, coming in and generating money already. I want to give you a clear picture here because before we stepped in, they were already generating like around 100K monthly from email, which was about 25% of the total revenue. And that was just with the campaigns. So as you can see, they were kind of already utilizing email marketing, but not really. They sent like 3 to 4 campaigns per month. There was no systematic approach to keeping the subscribers engaged. It was just like a blast whenever they have an offer here and there. There was no pop-up form, which basically resulted in minimal list growth. And the only flow that they had live was a review request and it's unengaged, which is already brought in like 6.4K. So we were like, holy shit, we're onto something. There's so much potential of the account. I basically showed them the roadmap, like, hey, this is what we would do. This is what you can expect. And they were like, okay, let's start it. If you keep your promises, that would be absolutely amazing. And of course we did. So fast forward, after implementing the entire strategy that I'm gonna show you, we now have an engaged subscriber list of 45,000 plus people opening the emails weekly. We have a pop-up installed that already collected over 2K new leads in the last 45 days. We have an automated email system with around 30 plus emails generating 109K in the last 30 days, pretty much an autopilot for them. We sent 3 to 4 manual campaigns weekly, generating another 166K in the last 30 days. And the total result is 466K in just 60 days, with emails representing 41% of their total store revenue. Quick question here. Are you an e-commerce brand owner, CMO, COO, or e-commerce manager of an online store? Then make sure to schedule your free email marketing audit. In the description, you can find a link. It gets into my schedule, and then we have a super chill conversation. We go through all the different strategies. When it comes to your account, I'm going to show you how you can scale your efforts. Worst case scenario, you have a step-by-step roadmap on how to scale the email backend. Best case scenario, you found a partner that can basically tackle all of that so you can have full focus with all the other stuff while having peace of mind that someone else is taking care of the emails so you can scale profitably even further. Thank you so much and have fun with the rest of the video. Let's go through the process real quick because we basically have 3 phases. First of all, the audit pre-partnership, which is basically day -3 of the partnership. We first of all, if you click in the link in the description, you will get to the schedule line and we have an audit. And in the audit, we go through the entire brand, we go through the marketing analysis, we go through the Klaviyo account, and we basically build a customer lifetime cycle based on your account. And in that case, a CBD customer lifetime cycle. So we basically mapped everything out. We constructed a campaign calendar with 3 to 4 weekly flows. We, went through all the different flows. We're like, what makes sense for them? So that's what we did pre-partnership. Phase 2 started with the second they said, yeah, let's start. And we basically built the foundation first. Foundation means we did the foundational stuff immediately, like pop-up form and welcome email. Then we created 35 plus flows across multiple triggers. So that includes upon a checkout, browse the minimum thank you sequence. That's like the more standard thing. We started to write, design, and implement 12 plus campaigns with proper launch sequences for new items because they were launching quite a few items regularly. And then we set up the advanced segmentation strategies for their buyers to make sure deliverability is on point and everyone is getting the emails that they should get. That's basically foundational work, 0 to 45 days. And then from there, we basically catapulted everything. We started to execute 3 to 4 weekly campaigns or kept executing that. We did the rest of the flow development. We started to optimize the core flow setup. So I'm going to go through the flow setup in a second, but that's basically where we now generate 40% of the email revenue, literally just automated. Then we started to do a minimum of 3 A/B tests weekly across flows, pop-ups, campaigns. And then we also started to do our in-depth weekly and monthly reporting that I'm going to go through in a second. So that's that. Now let's go through a little bit about like how the partnership in and of itself works, because of course results are great, but right immediate after that is also the way we communicate, because that's really important if you are a client that you want to be updated all the time. So what we're doing is we try to always update the client whatever we do, because that's super important, right? Same here, for example, every Monday we prepare like a little bit of an update on the outline of the progress. So here, for example, we covered the post-purchase sequence that was already generating like 11K extra. So what we did, we suggested them to add something post-purchase. Didn't work out because they have some issues with payment providers, but still, it basically shows that we are thinking way beyond just emails, but we actually think about their results as a business overall. So that's that. And then on Monday, we also have a custom report with the weekly numbers. So here, for example, last 7 days, 43,000 in email revenue, 949 in new subscribers. So that was quite a decent week, I would say. And that's basically what we're doing overall, right? You can see here 16K, 9K, 7K with the campaigns. Our then monthly in-depth reports include video walkthroughs, basically Loom updates, going through the data, explaining what's working and what we are optimizing further. On top of that, of course, we maintain daily communication regarding deliverability and everything else that we are working on. When it comes to the key deliverables and results we achieved in the last 60 days, we first of all start with the pop-up form. As I said, we immediately started to implement it because that's super important, especially if you're driving so much traffic, you want to capture them with your pop-up form. So they didn't have one online, so that was kind of priority first, to get one live ASAP. So the first stats were not too bad with a 4.1 sign-up rate, but shortly after that we put up an A/B test challenging our results, and we've been able to outperform ourselves, resulting in a 4.83% sign-up rate, which basically is a 42% increase, which basically means 42% more emails on the list, which is absolutely insane. When it comes to email design and copy, we basically overhauled everything that they were doing, because what they did is they first of all focused on offers only, and then everything was not really bad, but not designed as an email designer, which is like throwing things together in Klaviyo, which is fine if you're doing it yourself, but if you actually want to do it professional, then you want to have something else, right? When it comes to the topics, we basically focus on a lot of education, because the customers need to understand the difference between the items. They need to understand how to use the items properly, and they want to understand what they can expect when it comes to the results of their different CBD items, and then they want to know the quality, and if there are some third-party testing, they want to know that, and then of course everything when it comes to legal stuff, they want to know if all of that is legal, right? So that's where most of our focus was when it comes to the flows as well as campaigns, like going through these different things to make sure that they understand, okay, we care about the customer. Right? When it comes to the campaign strategy, we basically adjusted everything to their internal resources, because sometimes, if for an email agency, of course, it would be great to know everything 2 months ahead, and then we can just prepare everything in advance. But they basically scaled like crazy, and email was one of the main channels because of that. And their audience was also naturally very eager to buy again just by seeing the emails and just by being reminded of the quality of their items. And what they basically thought, okay, because they were working in charges, so they have 400 items of this one SKU, and then once it's sold out, they don't have it anymore. So they need to consistently re-upload new items and launch new items. So that's what we did. So we basically, like, in 1 week, we have almost every week we have one new launch, maybe every other week, and then we have one weekly offer, like product of the week, not weekly offer, but product of the week that we focus on. So what we did is we basically first of all created a lot of evergreen campaigns that we can just like slot in whenever we want to. They basically cover like all the educational stuff, right? CBD benefits, usage, research, blah blah blah. And then whenever we have a product ready for the next launch, or we have the product of the week, then we basically try to prepare everything so we can turn something over in just 24 hours, which is extremely rare when it comes to each agency's work. And you can see clearly the results don't lie. 11.5K, 11.5K, 13K, 15K, 8.6, 9.7, 12, 14.5, 10, 10, 13, 14. and that's just the last emails. So insanely, the results definitely speak for themselves. Now let's quickly cover the flow strategy implementation. We built over 30 plus automated emails, which basically generated 109K in the last 30 days, as you can see here. And the strategy overall included, first of all, the welcome flow, of course, to give the incentive and then educate new subscribers on the CBD benefits. Then a side abandonment flow, which basically is for everyone who doesn't view a specific item but are still going on the page. Then a browse abandonment for those who view items but don't add to cart. A cart abandonment flow for those who add to cart but don't check out. A checkout abandonment flow for those who start to check out but don't complete. For all of these abandonment flows, we're trying to give them different, handle different objections. Some might be legal stuff, some might be they have some questions, some might be the price point, some might be they don't realize how urgent it is, so we try to push with urgency. Some might be social proof, some might be the quality of the item, so we show that with images, right? So that's basically what we're trying to do here. Then when it comes to like everything after post-purchase, we welcome them to the brand, we have some cross-sells, we remove buying remorse with social proof, and then we get them to buy again. And you can see here, one of the best performing flows is actually the thank you post-purchase, which doesn't really happen that often, but it brought in 45K, which is absolutely insane. Then the replenishment reminder flow, which is basically perfectly timed for when products run out. So you have an email catching them like, hey, do you want to buy more of that? And then the win back flow is usually for people that haven't purchased in a while, even though they were getting all the emails. So that's what we built out in a pretty short time period, and we also built the back in stock, which also brought in 1.3K. So that's also pretty decent. So that's basically a wrap up. In just 60 days, our email marketing strategy transformed this CBD brand, resulting in crazy growth. They literally had to get a new logistics center, but I guess that's good problems to have, right? The store revenue increased by 18% overall, and they hit an all-time high, even just very shortly, close to Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and it's not even their high period. Email now contributes to 41% of their total store revenue, which is 25% up from just 25% before. The flow revenue went from virtually zero to 109K euros in the last 30 days, and the campaign revenue is now at a stable 160K per month. These numbers definitely show you the power of a well-executed email strategy, especially in an industry of consumables where education and trust are super, super important, and people already naturally buy things again and again. So if you're one of those stores, make sure to schedule your audit so we can go through everything together, and then I'll show you how an expert would handle your email marketing. Other than that, make sure to check out some of my other videos, and then I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Take care.